We're catching up with Poki here at the Daedalic Corner at Gamescom, and I think we had the longest interview of GDC on GRTV with you. You had a lot to say. Let's just bounce back on the game. You're finishing things up. What's cooking? Is it coming together the way you want it to?
Yeah, indeed it is. Yeah, we are just at the end of the production of Goodbye Deponia. We have just a couple of weeks left now, and yeah, it was a very hard year because Chaos on Deponia ended up really brilliant and even better in a way than I really had dreamed of. It was really I was very proud with what we achieved there. But still, we have an agenda that the next game should be even be better than the game before. And of course, I really wanted to achieve that. Especially because it's the last part of the trilogy, and therefore, of course, it is quite a benefit that now in the third part I can eventually close the story and bring all the open story threads together, which would be enough material for one game by itself. But of course, there were some new things I wanted to introduce into the storyline as well. So it's a very rich, huge game.
It's one of those things. I love it when a plan comes together.
Yeah,
sort of.
and that's exactly. Now, after we have taken a little bit more time than we had for the production of the first two parts. I really am very proud to announce that it really works out and everything comes together, and it's quite a very smooth closed part in itself, but a very worthy end for the trilogy. And we achieved to take care of every single situation in the game, but make it one big experience for you, and to bring everything into it that I had in mind for it, and that was a hard thing to do because we have a lot to tell. Already said so much, but for example, there were still some aspects of Deponia that I have introduced in the first two parts, but that I hadn't brought to effect until the third part. For example, that Deponia was meant to be a comedy of errors in many ways. So we have already seen that Rufus has a doppelganger, and there are some mix-ups in the first two parts here and there. But I always wanted Deponia to be like an interactive comedy of errors where the hero has to disguise as his opponent, and he enters the room and is mistaken and leaves the room, but the opponent comes in and everybody is confused. And yeah, but actually to play that and to make mix-ups with different backs that looks the same and such things. And
so is it a case because how do you approach that? Do you want to trick the player sometimes, or is it a case of the player should always know who's who, or do you mess with the player as well?
Yeah, of course, I mess with the player a lot. I really like to play with the player who's playing with our game, and I'm playing with him playing the game, and he of course is playing with me playing with him playing the game. So we play together. It's quite a game we play together, and I really enjoy that because you have a dialogue in the game. Of course, it's a communication between the game designer and the player, and I think that's something you really enjoy. The other day I had a journalist who said, yeah, I really love the parts in Deponia when you know that your next move will create a big chaos or havoc or anything, but nonetheless you want to click there, and you just know that it's not a good idea, but you just want to see the result, and then you have to live with that. And of course, it really helps, especially when you create chaos in such a story of mix-ups.
I guess that's also what the genre offers you. It's not about sort of being proficient and getting to a goal. It's about experiencing a story and sort of that's at the key of it. So the player doesn't have to need, but he can actually go walking into sort of a bad situation happily.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can try to predict that, and I'm even playing with that. I'm breaking the predictions of the player as well. And I really hope that there are some moments in Goodbye Deponia that are really coming as a surprise, because some of the mysteries you already anticipate, and you say, okay, I think I'm going where he's heading now, and I think I really get it. But then there's something else. I sneak underneath him, sneak past him, and suddenly something else comes as a surprise from the other direction. It's really yeah, I'm very excited to see how
it seems almost like half the joy for you is to sort of get the feedback from players and hear how they experience it, or maybe even you sit in and watch players play it to see how they react and so on.
Yeah, it is indeed. Like I said, I think that games are an interactive media, so where's the interaction? It's between me, the game designer, of course, and the system of the game, and the player. So I need the feedback from the player as well to bring back, and it's a little bit like playing a mind game with them, and I'm laying out traps, and I really enjoy when they fall, and I think it's much fun to go into these traps, because these surprising moments when you see, okay, I didn't see that come, but now I get it. They're just fun, and you can't can't help but just laugh when you see somebody trap into that trap. But of course, it's always Rufus who goes into that trap and not the player, so you can always enjoy it as well.
Don't electrocute them from the computer. So. It must be a little bit of a mixed emotion as well, that you're about to leave this universe. How do you feel about that sort of situation? Yeah, or is it a relief, or is it mixed emotions?
It's not by any means a relief. Up to now, I'm still excited because we haven't finished the game now completely. There are still things to do, and I really want to see how the last scenes end up. Just like I had, because I have them complete in my mind, but we don't stop work until they're really like that in the game as well. And so I'm still excited. But there are some tasks that already ended, like of course writing all the dialogue for the game. And one of the last tasks I did in writing was writing the songs. Because, as you know, in Deponia, there's always this singer-songwriter guy with guitar singing the songs, and I'm doing the songs myself. Even in the English version, I'm singing them myself. So, and of course, I'm writing the lyrics for the songs as well. And one of the last steps was writing the lyrics for the last song, which really comes in the end just before the credits. And as I wrote the lines, and I really recognized, because the story of the singer-songwriter character is somewhat strange, separated from the rest of the story. It's just as if he is making the story of Rufus up to excuse himself for some bad character traits he has. And so it's not in the story anymore. So going out of the story this last time for the singer-songwriter character to say, okay, that's the end of the story. All of a sudden, and these songs are just some 40 seconds long. all of a sudden I recognized, oh, I'm now out of the story and I'm not going back into it. And that I put that into the lyrics, and with every new line that I wrote down, I became more and more sad about it, and made oh no, it was really letting them loose, and just a couple of lines down, that all of a sudden all the story of Rufus and Goal were just a memory, and they were just. You know you can't go back to them, and this was quite touching for myself, and I was really nearly crying when I wrote this last lines, and yeah, I hope very much that it will end up as touching for the players as it is for me. Yeah, so I'm quite sad that Deponia comes to an end, and I will leave this place that. Yeah, that I really dwelled in that world quite a lot of time now, and spent many years on Deponia, and so of course I'm sad that I'm leaving now.
But it will live forever in our memories, right?
Yeah, but that's a sad thought as well, in a way. I'm quite a nostalgic character, and I have always this ambivalent emotions towards memories, because I know they're very, very beautiful things, and even the bad things tend to end up as beautiful memories in your brain. So looking back is always half joy and half really just sadness in its pure form.
I hope that you will have happy times ahead. So thank you very much for your time, and I look forward to ending the trilogy.
Thank you as well.